All right, the Washington Post has been fact-checking presidential candidates on the campaign trail. Thank goodness, right? Until now. Bernie Sanders made a statement that they've decided to take a look at, all right? I'm gonna read you what he said. He said, millions of Americans are forced to work 2 or 3 jobs just to survive. This seems true, right? So they have come out and not said that it's not true, but just that it's misleading. Let me, I guess, break that down for you.
That's fascinating. They must have a good reason for that.
They must have a good reason, right?
Okay.
So this is from their fact-checking portion. It says the Bureau of Labor Statistics data shows that nearly 8 million people hold more than one job. So let me just read that again, okay? Nearly 8 million people hold more than one job. So we're talking about 7 million. More than 7 million.
More than a million. So if you had a million and then you had more, what's the plural for that even? I'm not good at grammar.
Right, all right. So, but most of those extra jobs are part-time, not full-time.
Oh,
so as long as you work 2 20-hour jobs in 2 different places, because that's easy to do.
Unless you literally don't sleep a wink at night and have to work, literally around the clock, then it doesn't actually count in the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Right. Yeah. So
everyone knows that.
So they say, and the millions of people amount to just 5% of Americans with jobs. So that means 95% of workers are not working 2 or 3 jobs just to survive, making this a misleading statement. Can we leave this up for a second while we just kind of dissect it? Because also this third sentence there, and the millions of people amount to just 5%, makes it seem like this.
Well, it's nothing. It's who cares
nearly
about
8
those
million people doesn't. Right, that's what it seems like. Right, that doesn't matter. And then also the reasons why a lot of people have to work 2 or 3 jobs. A lot of people work at one McDonald's here and one McDonald's down the street and a Burger King, and they work 3 different jobs, not because they wouldn't love to be paid a living wage, one, but then also only stay at one location. They just can't get scheduled like that. A lot of these places don't want to pay health insurance for a lot of people.
And
so they have most of their employees are part-time. And so they have to get on at 3 different places. Nobody wants to do that. It's not like 2 separate jobs at the same amount of hours does not equal 1 job in 1 location every day where you don't have to take a bus or walk or drive your car to another place in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night. That's that's absurd.
I agree, and I would say, I've never been a fact checker, but I imagine if you're gonna be a fact checker, before you check a fact, you should read the statement, because Bernie Sanders didn't say 2/3 of all Americans work 7 full-time jobs. He said millions work more than 1 job. You laid out exactly how that is true, and then said, but it's misleading. And that statement, the millions are just 5% of the population. Oh, well then who cares about him? Who cares what happens to him? I got news, Japan just nuked Manhattan, but that's just like 2% of the American population. Do we really care about that? That's a professional fact checker who is intentionally deceiving people about one of the most innocuous statements in politics I've ever read. Why would you even check that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, so the thing about fact checking that's very frustrating is that it's not like there is this kind of like neutral tribunal of referees just calling balls and strikes, you know?
I thought this was supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, but that's impossible because it is impossible to divorce facts from something called ideology, right? If facts are just random data points until you kind of weave them together to tell a story, right? And the Washington Post fact checker, a guy named Glenn Kessler, fancies himself a very neutral arbiter, calling balls and strikes. But when in fact, if you look at all his work, it is soaked in so much ideology, like the ideology of the Beltway establishment. I mean, that's just what he's always been, which is why he had a famous fight with Bernie, like it was like last year over the cost of Medicare for all, right? And George Mason's own study sort of against Medicare for all, like if you looked inside the numbers, it actually confirmed that it saved money and all this stuff. And like Glenn Kessler couldn't wrap his mind around it because he's just so seeped in ideology that he can't even see it, right? It's like a fish in water, right? He doesn't know he's in water because that's like what he's always been in. So,
well, and the issue is that your fact checking has to be based on, is this statement true? It can't be goal oriented. His inability to accept what was abundantly clear from that study that it actually saves money. Like no matter what, healthcare is expensive. You can't simply rate one on how much it costs and then say, well, the rest of the plans are probably zero. That doesn't make any sense. But he doesn't want Bernie to be right, and so he interprets all information based on that goal.
Yeah.
Which this was frustrating because it should have said, yes, this is true. That was it.
Yeah.
And you could have stopped
No
it.
Pinocchios.
The labor statistics data shows nearly 8 million people hold more than one job. This is a fact.
Yeah.
That was it. I don't know. I think the idea was that, well, in his mind, he meant something else, or he was implying something else by saying this, which was a weird point. I don't know. That I don't even know. Does this get approved? I don't.
Nope.
No,
Multiple people got to look at that. I don't know.
No. Glenn Kessler definitely doesn't get edited.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.